Hello everybody, welcome to Learn the Lingo. My name is Matthew, and this is the second video in our series in which we are learning to read Hebrew. Last time we looked at the letters aleph and bet, as well as the markings kamatz and dagesh. Let's do a quick review of those before we move on to anything new. With these letters we made the word av, which means father. It's spelled silent aleph, kamatz, ah, bet without dagesh. V. Let's add a couple things to this word. We are going to put a dagesh in the bet, and under it we will put another kamatz. And moving to the left, we will add another aleph. Now we have a new word. Let's sound it out. Silent aleph, kamatz, ah, bet with dagesh, ba, another kamatz, ah, and another silent aleph, Abba, which I spelled in English with just one B, but is usually spelled with two. Abba in Aramaic and modern Hebrew means father or dad. Let's talk about when the bet does or does not have a dagesh. Like the vowel markers, the dagesh is not used in most Hebrew text, since people used to speaking Hebrew will know which sound to make depending on where the bet is in a word. Since we're learning, we will be using the dagesh, but it's good to know where in a word a dagesh may or may not be used. Usually, if a bet or any other letter is at the end of a syllable, the letter will not have a dagesh. What is a syllable? A syllable is a group of consonant and vowel sounds put together to make one big sound. For example, the word of is one syllable. It has the vowel sound ah and the consonant sound v put together to make one sound, of. That is one syllable. So in Hebrew writing, we always have a letter starting a syllable. Under that letter, there will always be a vowel marker. And sometimes, not always, but sometimes, there will also be a second letter at the end of the syllable. Let's take the two words we learned last time, ba and of, as examples for how Hebrew syllables work and where a bet does or does not have a dagesh. Both of these words have one syllable. Both of these syllables have a first letter, a vowel marker, and a second letter. Remember that not all Hebrew syllables have a second letter, but both of these happen to. As for the dagesh in the bet, in the word ba, the bet does have a dagesh because it is the first letter in this two-letter syllable. And so that means it will have a dagesh. But in the word of, the bet is the second letter in the syllable. It comes after the vowel marker ah. So that means this bet does not have a dagesh. Let's take another look at the word Abba. Abba is a two-syllable word. The first syllable is the letter aleph and the kamatz, the first letter and the vowel marker. This syllable does not have a second letter because the next letter in the word is bet, and under this bet is a kamatz, a vowel marker, which means that this bet is the start of its own new syllable. So this is the first syllable, and this is the second syllable. Bet, kamatz, and aleph. First letter, vowel marker, and second letter. This bet does have a dagesh because it is the beginning of a syllable. Now that we've reviewed those two letters and the dagesh, let's learn the third letter of the Hebrew aleph-bet, which is Gimel. Gimel makes the g sound. Gog is the word which has two gimels. It begins with a gimel on the right side of the page, g. Then we'll have a kamatz underneath, ah. Remember that the kamatz makes its ah sound after the letter it is underneath makes its sound. So we have gimel and kamatz, g, ah. Then moving to the left, we'll put another gimel, which says g, and we have G-A-G, Gog, which means roof. Now for the fourth letter, which is Dalet. Dalet makes the D sound. Let's make a word with Dalet. We'll start with a Dalet, D, and under the Dalet we will put a kamatz, A, and we will end this word with a Gimel, G. D, A, G. Dog, which means fish. In Biblical Hebrew and some modern Hebrew, the first letters of these words, Gog and Dog, will probably have a Dagesh, the dot that goes in the middle of a letter. The Dagesh makes only 3 letters change sound, one of which is bet, but most of the other letters can also have a Dagesh, usually for a grammatical reason. Because a Dagesh in these letters doesn't make the sound change, some people don't put a Dagesh in any letters except the 3 that have different sounds with Dagesh. We'll be doing it that way to keep things more simple, but don't be surprised to see a Dagesh in almost any Hebrew letter. And of course, if the Hebrew text is not using the vowel system, just the aleph-bet, it won't use the Dagesh at all, even in letters that change sound like bet. In review, today we learned more about the Dagesh and where it's used, and also 2 new letters, Gimel and Dalet. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing to my channel and turning on notifications so you can know when I make a new video. Also, I would really appreciate it if you gave this video a like and shared it with your friends who you think would like to learn Hebrew. Goodbye.